Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sawdude here. We are back with another pig video. This one's going to be special. This one I've been wanting to do for a while. We are going to be doing a Pig Addon tier list, if you couldn't tell with the title of the video. We're going to be breaking down each Pig Addon individually and ranking them from D tier to S tier. And I consider myself the #1 Pig NA with a 90% win rate in 1,000 games played as Pig. And if you'd like to check me out on Twitch, the link will be in the description. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right. Y'all ready? Let's cook. All right, guys. We're going to start off in the D tier. We're going to go through each one, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we could explain a little bit, maybe even combinations of Pig add-ons. So let's start with the worst one so far. This one is absolutely bad. You do not need this. There's another add-on that you can actually use that does the same effect, but we'll get into that add-on later. So the worst one we start off with is Shattered Syringe. So Shattered Syringe is basically an ambush add-on for the pig. It basically, whenever you miss, it's less of a cooldown by 10%. So we automatically put this one in the D tier because you'll see later. You'll see why. Just do not run this add-on when you play pig. Just do not. Never, 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 never. You don't need it. Okay? You can do it. I believe in you. All right? So, Shattered Syringe, we are in D tier. All right? Shattered Syringe, D tier. All right. Let's go on to the next one. So that one was simple. 10% Shattered Syringe. We don't need it. All right, let's go to the next one. Interlocking Razors. So this one is about reverse bear traps and boxes. So basically this one, it tells us, while injured, okay, so the survivor has to be injured with a head trap doing a box, and if they fail a skill check, then they get the deep wound. Now, I wouldn't suggest running this either unless you have another add-on called Razor Wires, which we'll get into in a little bit, because those go hand in hand, which is a good combination. Also with like certain perks like Huntress Lullaby or Ultimate Weapon where they could miss a skill check. But other than that, most of the time survivors are not going to miss a skill check on a box because it's kind of simple. Again, unless you're running Razor Wires, which we'll get into in a little bit. So I would rank Interlocking Razors D tier as well. All right, let's get into the next one. We have Utility Blades. And again, this one is about having a head trap on your head as a survivor. And this one is basically not that great either. This one, whenever they have a head trap, they suffer from hemorrhage. And sometimes survivors will heal when they have a trap on. Sometimes it won't. It really depends. But I wouldn't recommend running this one either. It's not that great. Hemorrhage just basically makes you leave more pools of blood, and if you interrupt their heal, it regresses. So I don't know. I wouldn't run this. Not very good with pig. I would rank this one in D tier as well. All right. All right, next one we have is Rusty Attachments. This one kind of goes hand in hand with the Hemorrhage. So instead of Hemorrhage, this one is Mangled. So if you know the perk Sloppy Butcher, it does both Mangled and Hemorrhage. So this one, again, has effect on the reverse bear trap if you have it placed on your head as a survivor. It tells us that they receive Mangled for 70 seconds. So Mangled takes you a little bit longer to heal. But again, sometimes, remember, survivors will not heal when they have a head trap on. They'll just go immediately for the box. Just depends if they have it active or not. Again, it's another situation, hit or miss. You never know. I would also rank this one in D tier. I would not run this add-on either. Not very good. All right, let's move up to C tier now. So the first one in C tier is going to be Razor Wires. So Razor Wires can go hand in hand with a lot of, not a lot of perks, but a few perks here and there. This one is, again, with skill checks, again, with Interlocking Razor. It could go hand in hand with, because this one makes you a little bit smaller of a skill check for survivors. So this one says, while healthy, survivors failing a skill check at a jigsaw box become injured. And then it increases the skill check by 20%, which makes it a little bit smaller. But again, still not very small of a skill check. It's a little bit bigger than an overcharged skill check. So this one, again, if you run Huntress Lullaby or Ultimate Weapon, maybe you can get some value out of this, but I would not recommend running it. It just if you want to run like a fun build, again with Ultimate Weapon or Huntress Lullaby, and you run Interlocking Razor or Razor Wires together, sometimes you get some value, sometimes you won't. Again, hit or miss. But I'm gonna put this in C tier because it's not bad going. Because sometimes survivors will heal again whenever they have a trap. Just depends if it's active or not. And I think you could get some value. Sometimes, sometimes not. Most of the time, not. Sometimes you will. Fun little add-on, but still not very good. All right. The next one we have is Face Mask. I'm going to put this one in C tier as well. This one, basically, again, with Reverse Bear Trap, whenever you have one on, you are blinded until you get your Bear Trap off. Again, this one will go hand in hand with some perks. One is Plaything. So if Survivor has Plaything on and they have a head trap on, they will not be able to see because Plaything gives you an aura, a purple aura of your Plaything that you need to cleanse. So this one could go hand in hand with Plaything, but that's really the only reason. Sometimes if you run like a slugging build, maybe you'll put this add-on on, but most of the time, Pig players will not put this on, so I do not recommend it. I don't use it, only if I run Plaything. Or maybe you can do it with Third Seal in case, they get their head traps off, so it's kind of like a safety net in case Third Seal gets cleansed, but still not very good. Might get minor value out of this, so I'm going to put this one in C tier as well. All right, the next one we have is Combat Straps. So, since Pig got buffed a little bit back in February, I think it was. This one changed a little bit. So this one increases the transition from the crouch state, from crouched, uncrouched, or into the crouch state, sorry, by 10%. So this can be kind of ideal if you're like an ambush pig. A little bit quicker, you can go down, crouch, uncrouch. But again, that's only if you're using for ambushes. Honestly, other than that, this add-on really is not going to do you any good. Besides, if you want to go for some cool ambushes, really catch survivors off guard how much faster you crouch. And this will go hand in hand with another add-on that we'll talk about in just a little bit. So, gonna place it in C tier. Okay, but most of the time you won't run combat straps either, unless you are going for some ambushes. All right, the next one we have, I am going to put this one in C tier as well. John's medical file. So this one, it goes hand in hand. Again, combinations. Pig is a big time on combos, add-on combos together. But this one increases your movement speed by 10% when crouched. So when you're crouching, you move at 100% speed. So a little bit faster when you're crouching. Again, this one will go hand in hand with another add-on that we'll talk about in a little bit. Most of the time, Pig players, I notice sometimes they crouch a little too much, and you really don't want to do that, especially on like outdoor maps, bigger maps. You don't want to crouch a lot. Maybe at the beginning of the game, if you have a sizable lead. I always tell this to my viewers on Twitch. Or if you have an indoor map. Other than that, most of the time you really don't want to crouch, and this will make you move a little bit faster whenever you crouch, and this will go hand in hand. So I'm going to put in C tier because it can be somewhat useful with another add-on, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, the next one we have is Amanda's Secret. All right, I'm going to put this one in C tier. Reason being, so this one, okay, since the change to the jigsaw boxes, now you cannot see the aura. It's basically the same thing how it was before. It used to be where you could not see the aura of the jigsaw boxes, and you get a loud notification and whatnot. Now, it's just basically that. So whenever a survivor removes the bear trap, you get a notification and you see the aura for 6 seconds. This could be useful for like end game, I would say. Other than that, I don't know if I would find it kind of useful. I know a pig main is going to be a little upset with me for putting this in C tier, but again, this is my opinion. Everybody has their own opinions, different experiences with different add-ons. But for me, I feel like this add-on truly is here in C tier because the fact that you only get to see them for 6 seconds, right? And if they're across the whole map, if it's a big map like Mother's Dwelling or any other map, basically, you're going to see them across the map for 6 seconds and then they'll vanish. Okay. You never know. Pig is not a very mobile killer, as you know. So you might not be able to find them even with the aura reading. You know their general location, but again, it's not guaranteed. This could work if you are right next to their box that they get off, but if you are, you'll hear them. The jigsaw boxes are pretty loud when survivors are doing them, so you should be able to hear it whenever they're doing their head trap. So I'm going to put in C tier. It's going to stay there. All right, let's get to the next one. Jigsaw's annotated plan. I'm going to put this one in the B tier. Only because it is an extra trap. So let's read our add-on here. It says, increases the number of reverse bear traps by 1, which will also increase the number of searches to 15. If you don't know, if you have a standard 4 bear traps, the survivors will have to do a minimum of 12 searches altogether. So this will increase it by a little bit since you have an extra trap. The downside, again, you're going to have increases the death timer of the reverse bear trap by 10 seconds. So that is the really big downfall, which I'm not going to place it any higher than B. Very low B, I would say. But again, you do get an extra trap. It is 10 more seconds. Unless, here's the other thing. Reduces the death timer of all active bear traps by 10 seconds each time a generator is completed. So if you, I would say this add-on could go well hand in hand with an end game build. If you want survivors to do gens, maybe this could go well. Take 10 seconds off with like out any gen slowdown or regression or anything. That's the only reason I could see you running this add-on. I run it just because I have so many. I have so many of these add-ons because I rarely use them, so I just run it just for the extra trap. It's nice, but again, the downfall is it adds extra 10 seconds. And we all know that it is super, super rare to get a head pop with Pig. And we'll talk about more add-ons later that'll help you increase your chances of head pops. So I'm going to put Jigsaw's annotated plan in the B tier, the lower B tier, actually. All right, let's get on to the next one. This one is slow release toxin. Now, this one can be not too bad. I'm going to put it in B tier, probably mid B tier. This one is, again, a reverse bear trap add-on. So basically, it makes survivors exhausted for the whole time they have a head trap on. This could be good if you end up finding a person with a head trap. They can't use any exhaustion perks, no iron will, stuff like that. So it could be pretty good if you're trying to go for them again. But again, that's not highly recommended to go for someone with an active or any bear trap because they're going to be doing their side objective. But in case you just happen to run into them, I mean, why not? Might as well go for them, right? So I'm going to put that one in the middle B tier because it can be useful for sure. Again, no exhaustion. They're exhausted the whole time when they have a trap on their head. All right, let's move on to the next one, shall we? This one is another ambush add-on. This is a last will. And this will go good with another add-on. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this one, last will, increases the movement speed during ambush attack by 6%. So you move a little bit faster. But here's the downfall: increases the charge time of the ambush attack by 33%. So whenever you crouch as Pig, you do the roar. You do this roar. Do the roar. You do this roar. So this charge time, this roar, is going to take a little bit longer, but you will move a little bit faster whenever you fully charge it and whenever you're doing your ambush attack. So it has a plus side and a downside to it, but let's get into the next add-on. I'm going to put that one in B tier as well. This next add-on will go hand in hand. A good combination is a workshop grease. I'm going to put workshop grease in a B tier. So what workshop grease does, it again reduces the cooldown duration of a missed ambush attack. So like how we had shattered syringe, remember the 10%? Look, workshop grease does the exact same thing. So you might as well put workshop grease because it'll help you out even a little bit more with an ambush. So that's why shattered syringe is in the D tier 100%. So this one will go hand in hand with last will or combat straps because it increases the charge speed of the ambush attack by 50%. So it's really fast when you do the roar in the ambush attack. So it's super, super fast. It catches survivors off guard a lot, especially if you work together with combat straps. So you crouch a little bit faster and you do the instant ambush. So survivors cannot just leave the loop. So you'll be able to maybe do a lot more ambushes with workshop grease and combat straps if you're an ambush Pig. Or you can do last will and workshop grease, which will counteract the negative effect of last will of charging your roar. So it won't take as long for you and you'll still move a little bit faster with last will and workshop grease. So that is a great combo to run if you like ambushes. Workshop grease, last will, highly recommend if you like some juicy ambushes and you want to hit some crazy stuff. All right, so that one is going to go in the B tier. All right, next we are getting close to A tier. I'm going to put videotape in high B, and here's the reason why. It might be an iridescent add-on, but let's take a look at see what it does, shall we? So this one says all survivors start the trial with a reverse bear trap on their head. All right. So this one is going to work well with a few add-ons actually that we'll talk about in just a little bit. But this is really good for early game. So instead of corrupt, you could run videotape. Or if you just like a really good early game start, which is really, really good with Pig, and that's how you win a lot of games, is a really early game start. Videotape is really good, but the downside is you don't have any traps with you. So you're really relying on a really great start, finding survivors really quickly, getting downs, and then getting hooked. Okay, so this one I'm going to put it at high B only because of that, because I mean, there's different scenarios that you can have of you might not find the survivor. You might not get that early game start that you need. And then you're sitting there like with no traps, nothing, just an M1 killer, basically, a sitting duck in the water, basically. So I'm going to put it at high B. Still a good add-on, but not the best. Just have to have a good early game start. And that's what videotape is all about. Starting with all the bear traps on the survivors. So I'm going to put it at little high B. All right, let's get to the next one. The other iridescent add-on. I'm going to put this one A tier, guys. Now, there is a downside to Amanda's letter. Let's look at Amanda's letter. So, basically, wall hacks, Amanda's letter. Oh, we love it. We love it. So, basically, what it says is the auras of the survivors within 16 meters are revealed to you when you are crouched. So you have to be crouched. Now, this add-on will go good hand in hand with John's medical file, because when you have Amanda's letter, you really want to crouch all over the map so you can see the auras. So John's medical file will help you move a little bit faster. So this is a good combo, Amanda's letter and John's medical file. The downside to Amanda's letter is you have 2 less bear traps. Now, that could be kind of problematic somewhat, but again, you do have wall hacks. Amanda's letter is probably only going to be used. You're only going to want to use it on indoor maps. That's really beneficial, and it'll help you sneak up on survivors a lot better. Because if you try to use Amanda's letter on like an outdoor map and a very high visibility map, you're gonna get seen anyways. So the aura reading is kind of almost for nothing. Even though you can see them, they're gonna see you, and they're gonna just jolt out of there as soon as they see you. So it's kind of like hit or miss, and you get 2 less bear traps. So I would really highly recommend using Amanda's Letter on an indoor map. If you do, it is really fun. Basically, wall hacks. You can see through the wall, unless they have distortion. Then it's no fun. Blah, distortion. But I was gonna put that one in the A tier for sure, since you can see through walls basically when you're crouched. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Bag of Gears. I'm gonna put this one in A tier as well. Now, Bag of Gears is gonna go really good hand in hand with the other one. We'll get that one in just a second. But basically, what it does is increases the attachment speed of the reverse bear traps by 50%, and then it reduces the search speed of jigsaw boxes by 14%. So, again, this add-on will help you with getting head pops, okay? Because it takes a little bit longer for them to search the box, and the other one will do a lot better. So I'm going to put this one at A because you put it on faster, and it takes a little bit longer to get the head trap off. Sorry, the head trap off. So that's why I'm going to put this one at A tier, and it'll help you possibly get a head pop. Not only that, it will help you get survivors off gens for just a little bit longer. Okay, the DVD is a game of seconds, so anything will help. All right, so that is a Bag of Gears. Let's go on to the next. It is rule set number 2. So this one will go really good hand in hand with another with an add-on videotape. So this one, what it does is it disables the ability of survivors to see the auras of the jigsaw boxes until their trap is active. So if you pair this with videotape, this could give you really, really good early game pressure. However, most of the time, whenever I run this combo, survivors will always get on gens immediately, unless there's like a jigsaw box right next to where they spawned up. So this can work in your favor and it cannot. So I would definitely run this one with either videotape, or you can run it with Jigsaw Sketch. And we'll get to that add-on in just a second. Okay, just a second. We're almost there. We're almost done. We're almost done. So I would run this one with either of those 2 add-ons. Definitely good. If survivors do choose to try to get there and search for the boxes, they're not going to be able to see where they are, first of all, and they're going to waste a lot of time trying to do that. But again, it's a definitely scenario if survivors choose to do that, or if they choose just to do the gen and activate their trap. So hit or miss again, but definitely still very good with videotape and Jigsaw Sketch, and just kind of in general almost, because that way they'll have an active trap and they'll be running around with their with their trap on. All right, so that is rule set number 2. The next one we have is also really, really good for head pops. I'm going to put Tamper Timer in high A tier. Now, what Tamper Timer does, and the reason I don't put it in S tier, is because survivors usually go for their boxes whenever they're not active, and this is only when they are active. So this one basically reduces the timer of the reverse bear trap by 20 seconds. So instead of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it'll be 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, the reason I put it in A tier and not S tier is most of the time survivors will try to get their boxes off, or not their boxes, their head traps off before they're active, right? So they don't have to worry about possibly a tamper timer or getting their head popped and just dying straight up. So that's why I put it in A tier. But however, this is still very, very good add-on to use if you want to try to get head pops and to put a lot of pressure on the survivor. And this will go hand in hand with another one, another add-on that we will talk about in just a second. We're almost there. We're almost to the good ones. We are almost there. Let's go. All right. So let's get into our S tier add-ons for Pig. So for me, these are the 2 best add-ons for Pig that you can use. The first one we're going to talk about is the Jigsaw Sketch. Now, why do I put Jigsaw Sketch in S tier? Because there's no downside to it. So basically, you get an extra trap. So you have 5. Or if you run an annotated plan, you'll have 6. So you'll have an extra trap. So that's 5. That increases the number of searches that survivors will have to do for the boxes. And if a survivor decides to hop on a generator, it'll be highlighted in yellow, so you'll be able to see where they are. So this add-on could pair well in a good combination with rule set number 2 again, because survivors might or might not go for their box if they cannot see the box. So they'll just hop on a gen instead. And when they hop on a generator, you'll be able to see where they are. So that's a little bit of informational. And it'll go good with videotape because survivors will either want to do the gens right away or scramble around the map and try to search the boxes. So if they do hop on a gen right away, you'll be able to know where they are immediately because they already have a trap on their head, and it'll be highlighted in aura because of Jigsaw Sketch. So that's why I put in S tier, because it has no downside. You get an extra trap, and it's a little bit of information if survivors will hop on a gen. Again, good combination with videotape and rule set. Our last but not least, our beloved Crate of Gears. I am putting this in S tier. This is probably Pig's best add-on. I highly recommend getting a lot of these. I am running very, very low on these because I use it all the time almost. Sorry. So, Crate of Gears, what does it do? It's basically a bag of gears, but just buffed, like a big freaking buff. So it does this exact same speed as bag of gears, so it attaches 50% faster, reverse bear trap, and it reduces the surge speed of jigsaw boxes by 25%. So again, this one is for slowing the generator speeds down, getting survivors off gens, spending more time on boxes, their side objective. Again, this will help you with head pops. If you want to try to go for head pops, I highly recommend running a combination of either double gears, crate of gears, and bag of gears, or you can run crate of gears and tamper timer together for head pops. Really, really good add-ons, really good combo. I love crate of gears. I use it all the time because it just gets survivors off gens, makes them take longer to search the boxes and possible for head pops. And that will do it for all of our tier list add-ons for Pig. Please let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, if you would switch around any of these add-ons in any of the tier lists. So thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, please pop by the Twitch. I'll leave it in the description, and we'll hope to see you guys soon again. Bye-bye.